Well, hey y'all, long time no see. Old Pass with Backpacking Florida. Today, I'm out at the Richloam Loop Fire Tower Trail. Anybody that's been on my channel for a while might remember that Richloam Loop Fire Tower Trail is one of the first trails that I hiked after I moved to Florida. So, where have I been for such a long time? Some of y'all might be asking. Well, folks, that's a good question. The last time I went backpacking was on March the 28th of 2020, early in that pandemic year. I don't know if I can say it, but folks, that's the last time I went backpacking. I want to explain. I know a lot of y'all came to this channel because you love backpacking, and perhaps you might like the content that I put out on the channel or the trails down here in Florida. And there's also a great number of people that have subscribed to the channel over the last couple years due to a video I made on the Titanic, a documentary on the Titanic. So I understand that I've got many different viewers, a broad audience coming from different directions, but to those of you that subscribe to the channel simply for the backpacking videos and the trail videos, I want to apologize because it's been a couple years and I've not even had the courtesy to give you guys an update. I haven't died, I haven't fell off the face of the earth. But what's happened, folks, is 2020 happened. What a bad year, right? So the pandemic hit, and then in October of 2020, I was on my way to work one morning and I got stopped at a school crossing, and I stopped, but the man behind me didn't. And I don't know if he was on his phone or what happened, but he hit me in a 20-mile-an-hour zone going 45 miles an hour, never tried to hit the brakes, rear-ended me and messed up my back and my neck. And so for the last couple years, I've been undergoing surgeries. I had a neck surgery in June of 2021. So they put a metal plate in my neck and did a cervical fusion. And then in my back, in my lower lumbar region, I had a lumbar fusion. So they put a couple of titanium rods and some 4 bolts, and they removed one of my vertebrae. And in its place, they put a growth plate and to grow all that together and to fuse all that together. So I've had a spinal fusion in my lower lumbar. That was back in November. So folks, because of those things happening, I have not been able to be out on the trail, of course. So you might say, well, Opaths, what have you done to get so lean? Well, thanks for asking. Wasn't just the gym, folks. What I did was I changed my diet completely up and I went on a keto diet. Some of y'all may know about the keto diet. I'm loving it. Been on it for the last month and a half, maybe 2 months, somewhere around there. I've lost 11 pounds and I eat pretty much what I want to eat, as much as I want to eat as far as meat and things that are low carbs, high fat. I'm staying within my macros and doing pretty well. And even without exercise, not getting much exercise, I'm still losing weight and getting fit, and I feel better than I have in years. So a lot of the brain fog and everything is just gone. So how does that tie into my backpacking, folks? Well, since I've changed my diet, I've come out here on the trail, I've had to change up some things, and this is my first time out since March of 2020. So it's been over 2 years. I'm going as light as I can on my weight. Now I'm not super ultra light, but I'm going pretty light on my pack. And I'm only taking a 7-mile trip out and then staying for the night and 7 miles back in the morning, the same route. I'm not going to do the entire 19-mile loop. Now I'm doing the North Loop Trail at the Richloam Fire Tower. And the good thing is the last time I done this loop was a soloing at night video. So if y'all have caught that, you remember my video at nighttime going to the camp. So everything from here to the camp was filmed at night, and there's not much to see. So I'm glad that I will have the opportunity to show you guys some of the scenery that we have out here and the things to behold in the Richloam wildlife area. Now, how does my keto diet tie in to backpacking? Let me show you folks what I've done. So some of the things that I found that are keto friendly, folks, and if any of y'all are on a keto diet, maybe you can relate, or maybe you can share down in the hiker's log some of the things that you eat when you're out on trail on a keto diet. So I found, and I just thought about it today, but pork cracklings and chicharrones and of course pork rinds. They're not potato chips, they're pork fat that's fried, and there's 0 carbohydrates in them, and they're crunchy. So that's something I've missed for such a long time, is something crunchy. So I love pork rinds, so I was able to get some pork rinds. I already ate through 1 bag on the way here because I hadn't ate anything all day. Then some of the things I looked up online, there's summer sausage, great for taking backpacking. Of course, it is pretty heavy, 16 ounce, that's 1 whole pound. and I bought 2 of them, but they're 0 carbohydrates, folks. 0 carbs and gluten-free, which is important to me as well. So I love that. And then I've also bought some potted meat. It's also 0 carbs, AKA cat food. I like potted meat, some people don't, but it's a great little snack. And then I bought some almond butter, smooth almond butter. Now this is no added sugar or salt, so it's unsweetened, but this is something great to snack on as well. Surely have fat in there from the almonds. Okay, my phone overheated there, so I had to bring it over here to the shade. These keto fat bombs are amazing, made with sugar alcohol, so there's 0 grams of added sugar. You got that sweet taste and the chocolate and the mint, which is just wonderful, and high fat content, so help get that fat up to meet those macros. Then I got some Quest s'more flavored snack bars. I think these are great when you're on trail, something to snack on. Now they are only 4 grams of net carbs. And it might be worth mentioning that these keto fat bombs are only 1 gram of net carbs. And then I also bought me some cheese, so some pepper jack cheese there. This is the Great Value brand at Walmart, only $2 for a package. Now it says to keep refrigerated, and I'm not refrigerating it, so I'm hoping it doesn't make me sick, but I'm willing to take my chances, folks. And just a reminder, folks, if you haven't watched the other videos from here at Richloam Wildlife Area, this trailhead has potable water that you can drink. All right, folks, so without further ado, let's hit the trail the first time in over 2 years. All right, so here we go off of the road and onto the connector trail. And this would run us into the Florida Trail on down the way. This is part of the Florida Trail system. And just on the walk in, looking at both sides of the road, there was a lot of standing water, so good chance that a lot of my hike today and then back out tomorrow will be through some standing water, but we'll see. Okay, so here I am maybe 100 yards off the road, and I'm already hitting my first water crossing. And folks, when you hike the Richloam loops, you gotta understand, especially during the wet season, you're gonna get your feet wet. Let's go. So the Florida Trail does cut around this direction, folks. The Florida Trail that goes around the west side of Orlando and up to Ocala cuts around this way through the Richloam Wildlife Area. If you were to go southbound at the split there, after a little while, you would come to a split in the trail where you would join with the Florida Trail. Now the Florida Trail cuts off in one direction, but it carries along with the south loop there for a while. Well, I tell you folks, just over the past couple of years, I felt like a big part of me was missing just not being out here. Not necessarily the backpacking, but just not being out here in the wilderness. And I contacted some of my brothers in Christ who also have a love for backpacking and asked them if they would like to go backpacking this weekend. I'll give it to them on short notice. It's actually about a 24-hour notice, but Hurricane Ian passed through, the weather cooled down, and I caught just a little bit of the backpacking fever. So I reached out to my brethren, and none of them could make it, but you know what? It's just as well to be out here soloing, to be back out here, just me, the peace and solitude with my Lord, the Creator that created all this. To have that alone time with Him, it's going to be wonderful. out of the forestry here, and this is the Highway 50 crossing, or State Road 50. And I suppose I'm supposed to go through that culvert. So the trail just came out of the woods, and I'm sure they put that there for the hikers. There's a big gator right there, folks. Listen, try to move away. Of all the things I thought I would come up on out here, I did not think I would see a gator. He's not happy with me. Gator number 2, folks. I'm beginning to wonder if I should have came out on the trail today. 2 gators, and I believe this is a pygmy rattler. He does not want me to pass. He's right in the middle of the trail. Feeling a little bit more than relieved to step off that wet trail, narrow trail, where I spotted those 2 gators and that snake. Stepped out of here onto this fire trail, and I may be following it for a while. Now, last time I hiked all this was at night, so I vaguely remember hiking a fire trail. It seems like a different hike during the day. So we were only on the fire trail for about an eighth to a quarter of a mile. Now we're cutting back into the woods. The blazes here on these trees. Another narrow trail. Just praying this is a dry area. No more gators. Really contemplating walking back out on the fire road tomorrow. Just because them gators were using that wet trail as a slide. You could see where they'd been sliding their bodies down through there, so the last thing I want to do is get ambushed by a gator. Now, I am carrying a sidearm out here. I've learned to do that for safety. In the state of Florida here, you can open carry while you're fishing or hiking. But unfortunately, I'm way undermatched when it comes to gators. I'm just carrying my Taurus G3C 9mm, and of course the 9mm is not going to do anything against a gator. It's like bringing a pea shooter to battle, but I guess it's better than nothing. If one did ambush me and roll me, it's better than having nothing. And here's another prime spot for that. It is beautiful, very swampy, and I think Hurricane Ian got these guys riled up because they're typically, you don't even see them out here on these trails. But maybe because the trails are so far underwater, maybe it's been a long while since somebody's hiked these trails. I'm coming up here on Porter Gap Road, and I believe this pond right across the way there. I believe on the back side of that is the campsite. I know it's not very far off Porter Gap Road. And Porter Gap Road goes there to the northwest. But tomorrow morning we will be going to the southeast, and that is 4.2 miles back to Richloam Tower that way. So, besides, I need to take it easy anyway. My first time back out on trail. Break myself in slowly so as I don't overdo it. I think that would be the wise thing. All right, and we finally arrived. North campsite is 250 feet down the trail. Follow the blue blaze. It's actually quite a ways past Porter Gap Road. It wasn't that first pond, but more like the second or third pond. Probably another good mile past Porter Gap Road. All right, it's changed just a little bit since the last time I was here. So somebody moved the picnic table. Picnic table used to be over here, the other direction. Now they set it up a little closer to the fire ring. I need to find a good place to hang my hammock, maybe between these two trees, if I can clear them palm fronds out from underneath my rear end. Let's get set up. I tell you folks, I could not have found a couple better trees to hang my hammock from last night. Right here on the edge of the pond and facing eastward, so I was able to see the sun rising up over the pond right from my hammock. There's a couple different spots you can pitch tents, hammocks here at the north campsite. Now this one's away from the picnic table, but it does have an old fire ring. You might vaguely see it there. Got a tree growing forth from it, so that tells you how long it's been since that one's been used. And a little log sitting next to it. Looks like part of a telephone pole that somebody used to sit on, a couple of them. It's a great spot. It's very close to the water though, so if you have concerns about gators, you might not want to be sitting on that one with your back to the water. And here's the rest of campsite A, of course, with the picnic table, fire ring. I tried a couple of these trees, that one and that one, but they were just too far apart. My tent and my tarp wouldn't reach. And those two were too close. And these two would have been blocking the trail, and they were still a bit close. Some of the downsides of hammock camping, finding the right trees in the right spot. And I hung my food bag up last night just to keep it away from the critters. Now it doesn't look like it's very high. It's probably only about 7 feet off the ground, but not too concerned about anything that could reach it from the ground. I'm more concerned with the critters that would climb down the line to get to the bag. Hopefully everything's good. Unfortunately, folks, I probably won't be doing much recording the rest of the day on the way out. I've only got about 35% left on my battery for some reason, my battery was almost dead when I got here yesterday, so I had to charge it up on the trail on the way in. And I don't know if I've messed up my jack on my iPhone or messed up my cord, but one way or another, when I got to camp last night, I was not able to charge my phone. So I actually shut my phone off. I notified my wife that I was shutting my phone off. She had my GPS location and knew I was safe here at camp. And I told her I would shut it off for the night and then I would turn it back on in the morning. So I'm gonna turn it on for a little bit. I won't be doing much recording, but just a little bit as I get set up this morning. I've got my water from the pond last night. I was able to wade in and get me some water. A little bit deeper out, I was able to get some water that wasn't so black and murky. This water's been ran through my filter system, and of course that's the water I'm gonna use to boil to make my tea this morning anyway. It's completely safe to drink without boiling it. But I've got some tap water left in my other bottle. I drank about half of it last night, a half a liter. I was trying to go sparingly and just wet my mouth down every time I'd wake up with a dry mouth, and still drank half a liter. So the rest of the half liter I'm gonna use to get back to the truck today. But I would say we probably have about 5 miles to get back to the truck today, and that'll be about 1/8 of a mile to a mile on the trail, and the rest of it will be going down the fire road, which is it's a really pretty good road. So the goal is to avoid the alligators and the snakes that I seen on the trail yesterday. Now the rest of the North Loop, the Richloam Loop trails have always been, they're kind of low-lying areas, a lot of it, as they go out through the pines, through the low areas with a lot of palmetto, a lot of scrub. And they've been in low-lying areas, so a lot of times when we get heavy rains during this time of the season, especially hurricane season, from about June till November, the low-lying areas tend to be underwater. And this year has specifically been a lot of rain. And then we had Hurricane Ian just earlier this week. So, of course, it's Sunday now. We got hit with Ian on Wednesday. So there's a lot of water. And me and all my wisdom, you know, I thought I could come out because of the cooler weather and get around. And the trail's not that bad, really. I don't mind wading and getting my feet wet, but the alligators are a bit confused, and they think the trail is a water slide, and they're enjoying sliding down the trail. You can see the marks where their bodies have left the mark on the trail. So, and then I seen that one doing just that yesterday. As I come up on the trail, he came around the bend, and then I seen his tail come up and over and down and through the water, and that's when I was able to get my camera out and show y'all a couple big gators. And that's one thing I don't want to tangle with out here on the trail is a gator. Now, I said I do carry a sidearm, but this right here, little 9mm compact, is not going to do anything against one of these big gators. If I hit him in a soft spot, maybe. If I hit him in a soft spot and I hit him right there, but what's the chances if I'm wrapped up in the jaws of a gator that I'm going to be able to hit him in that soft spot? And I'm not even willing to take the chance. I don't want to get ambushed, so I'm going back to the truck today, about 1/8 of a mile to a mile to the road, and then down to the truck 4.2 miles. So my keto breakfast this morning, folks, on the trail is a 1 Quest bar, s'mores flavored, at 4 grams of net carbs. I'll probably have me a spoonful or 2 of this almond butter, which is unsweetened, no added salt or sugar, with my Earl Grey tea, sweetened with Splenda, and my daily bread. We hit the book of Proverbs this morning in my King James Holy Bible. All right, folks, it's about 9:15 right now, and I'm stepping off from the North campsite to Richloam Fire Tower. So probably got approximately 5 miles. And if there's anything cool along the way, I will show you, but I'm going to try to conserve battery. But I'm certain there will be something that I can show you. So we'll see you at the fire tower.
This whole life is such a mystery. So many things that I can't see. Just when I think I've overcome, another battle's just begun. And God, I know there's purpose to your plan. It's just hard to see from where I am. So I'm calling on your holy name. Won't you be my shelter from the rain? Lord, I'm gonna need your help today to stand the raging tide. You've allowed this trial to come my way. The reason for I don't know why. All I know is if I'm on my own, I can't even stand. Gonna need a hand. Lord, I need your hand. As I read your word to understand, I'm reminded of another man. His brother sold him as a slave, but Joseph never lost his faith. God, I've praised you and I'll praise you still, as day by day I learn your will. And I promise you no matter what, Lord, I'll trust in you, I won't give up. Lord, I'm gonna need your help today to stand the raging tide. You've allowed this trial to come my way. The reason for I don't know why. All I know is if I'm on my own, I can't even stand. I'm gonna need a hand. Lord, I need your hand. This whole life is such a mystery. So many things that I can't see. But I promise you no matter what, Lord, I'll trust in you, I won't give up.